So a huge rumor has just dropped. Rafa Fiziev says that he's been hearing that the UFC are seriously looking into a 165-pound division. He even said, it's not a rumor. I'm hearing that it's already for sure. As far as I know, I've heard that they've already identified something there. So crazy rumor. And this is not the first time we hear about the UFC potentially adding a new weight class. I don't know if you guys remember, but about a month or 2 months ago, when there was some rumors of Conor McGregor potentially returning, there was this crazy rumor that I read that, the UFC was thinking of adding Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler to UFC 300, but that they were actually going to make it for a championship, weight class, and that was going to be for 165 pounds. So Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor were going to fight for the title for the brand new weight class at 165 pounds. And initially, it sounds very gimmicky, right? Because it's like, okay, of course Conor McGregor is going to fight for a weight class that, is barely existing and really has no other contenders, which is kind of laughable, right? It's kind of a gimmick. But it seems like Rafa Fiziev is saying, look, guys, there's actually something here, and the UFC is actually thinking about adding this weight class to the UFC. And, I think initially I thought it's an awesome idea. It's something fresh. It's something that the UFC currently needs, because with a new weight class, then you could add another title fight to the pay-per-views. My only question, and I want to know what you guys think, let me know in the comments. Do you think that if the UFC adds a 165-pound weight class, do you think it will weaken the lightweight division? Do you think it will weaken the welterweight division? And also let me know in the comments which fighters you think would move to an 165-pound weight class. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing some of the fighters that I believe could move into that weight class. So let's start. So some of the fighters that I believe would move into an 165-pound weight class, first of all, it would probably be Chandler and Conor, because if they're adding this new weight class, who do you think is going to be fighting for the title first? Obviously, it's going to be Conor and Chandler. But besides Conor and Chandler, right? Chandler's a big lightweight. Conor, I don't think he can make lightweight. I don't even know if he can make 165 pounds, but that's definitely more doable for Conor. But let's think about some other fighters currently in the UFC, in the lightweight and the welterweight division, who I think would potentially move to a 165-pound weight class. And for the first fighter that I would add to this weight class, who I think would move to this weight class, is Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is a huge lightweight, and he has to go on these dramatic weight cuts just to make 155 pounds. And I also believe that if he loses at 155 pounds against an Armin Tsarukyan, or maybe he loses an Islam Makhachev rematch, I feel like he would want to make a run at 165 pounds, which would be his more natural weight class, and maybe he wouldn't have such a hard time with the weight cuts, and maybe his chin would be a little bit better. I don't think his chin is that bad. It's more of his striking defense, the fact that he gets hit clean. But, Charles Oliveira, in my opinion, would be a lightweight who would move up to 165 pounds. Now, a welterweight, this one's going to be pretty obvious. Who would move to the 165-pound weight class is Colby Covington. Colby Covington has lost 3 title fights in a row, and in my opinion, he's a very small welterweight. We've heard from Colby Covington himself that, he walks around 178, 180 something pounds, and he only really has to cut about 12 pounds, which is really not a weight cut at all compared to some of these fighters. So I really think Colby Covington would benefit a lot from going to this weight class. I know it's only 5 pounds, but like I said, I believe he's very undersized, and I feel like Colby Covington, against some of the lightweights, he would have a lot of success with his grappling. I know that the most current version of Colby Covington would probably lose to about any ranked fighter in the UFC because he looked that bad against Leon Edwards. But if Colby Covington comes back hungry and he moves down to 165 pounds, I think he would have a lot of success. I think Charles Oliveira would be a terrible matchup for him. I would probably not match him up with him, but there would be a lot of fun matchups. Another welterweight that I think would move down to 165 pounds will be Gilbert Burns. I think Gilbert Burns, he used to fight at lightweight. He is kind of a small welterweight as well. Very short, very compact, very powerful. I think Gilbert Burns would also be a fighter that would have a lot of success at 165 pounds. I could see him moving down. Another fighter probably RDA. I mean, RDA, his whole career, he's been moving up and down. Sometimes he's a welterweight, sometimes he's a lightweight. So I could definitely see RDA being a gatekeeper at 165 pounds. Now, another fighter, a very big lightweight. I think a lot of you guys are going to agree. I think Jalen Turner would move up to 165 pounds and he would have a lot of success. I mean, we saw that Jalen Turner has missed way before because, man, that guy is huge. I believe he's like 6'3", very long, very tall. Look huge against Bobby Green. And you know that the guy struggles to make 155 pounds. So I think Jalen Turner moving down to 165 pounds would be a very obvious move. So I could definitely see that happening. Another fighter, and I think Islam Makhachev would definitely fight at 165 pounds. And I think that Islam Makhachev, if they actually do add this weight class and they actually add some fighters, I think Islam Makhachev might be the first triple champ. He'll for sure be the double champ because he's going to fight for 100. I mean, he's going to be the champion at 155 pounds. And he would move to 165 pounds to get that belt as well, which to me, that's why I brought up the question at the beginning of the video. If you guys think that adding this new weight class would actually weaken the lightweight division, because think about it, you would run into the same problem. It's like if Islam Makhachev is also the champion of 165 pounds, and he's also the champion of lightweight, you're still stuck with the same problem that it's like, okay, I mean, how many times is Islam Makhachev going to be able to defend his lightweight belt and his 165 pound belt? You know what I'm saying? So you do run into a bit of problem. So maybe you guys in the comment section could come up with some solutions to adding a new weight class, because it's only 5 pounds less than the welterweight division and 10 pounds over the lightweight division. So maybe, even though in theory it sounds like a very good idea, maybe it's going to weaken the lightweight division because maybe guys like Poirier, I feel like Gaethje will stay in the lightweight division. Chandler would probably move up. Maybe Dustin Poirier moves up. I could see him moving up, especially if he ends up losing. But I mean, what would 165 pounds weight class even be about? Is it just about the washed guys that couldn't make it at 170, or the guys that really couldn't fight for the title anymore in the lightweight division? So it would be very interesting to see which UFC fighters would end up fighting in that weight class. And I think it's a very intriguing thing. And I'm just very curious if this is going to end up happening. Like I said, Rafa Fiziev is very confident that the UFC has been discussing this weight class behind the scenes, and I wonder why. And my theory is that it connects to Conor McGregor. It's that they want Conor McGregor to come back and fight for a title. Now, like I said, if you remove Charles and Islam from the lightweight division, I think Islam would still stay in the lightweight division, but you would lose guys like Charles Oliveira. You might lose guys like Poirier. Maybe even Benoit Saint Denis. I think Rafa Fiziev would probably stay in the lightweight division. I think he's kind of a small lightweight, if I'm being honest. So I could see him staying there. Gaethje, I could see him staying there. Maybe Volkanovski will now do a permanent move to the lightweight division. So it'd be very interesting to see who would move up, who would stay in their weight class. And let me know what other fighters you guys believe would also move up or move down. Like, I think Bilal Muhammad, very big welterweight. I don't really see him. Maybe Jack Della Maddalena could move down to 165 pounds. But the main guys that I think about moving down in the welterweight division are for sure Gilbert Burns and Colby Covington. But I know there's other fighters. Neil Magny's kind of tall. Maybe Ian Gary, especially now with his vegan diet, maybe he does move down to 165 pounds. But anyway, this is a crazy ass rumor, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think this is actually going to happen? And if this does end up happening, because in this video I'm clearly entertaining the idea of it, which fighters would you like to see at 165 pounds? And who do you think would have the best chance or the best, I guess, career now at 165 pounds? Do you think it would be Charles Oliveira? Do you think it would be Colby Covington? Do you think it'd be Islam Makhachev? Maybe Gilbert Burns? So let me know down in the comments below. I know I only discussed several fighters. There's definitely more fighters that would probably move to that weight class. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.